So daily fantasy obviously is a huge thing, and the question that I get a lot is it legal and do I need a gaming license? And with the passage of so many state laws opening up gaming and gambling, sports gambling in particular, is it necessary to obtain a state license in order to run like a daily fantasy um, operation? And the answer is no. The answer is no, and the answer has been no for quite some time. Under the Internet Gambling Prohibition and Enforcement Act, the federal government, specifically carved out an exemption for games of skill, unto which daily fantasy falls under. And in later pronouncements, that has been expanded to include um, wagering on like video games and like gaming contests, and in some instances like types of sweepstakes, right? So it definitely doesn't require a gaming license, although there are states such as Louisiana, Alabama, Washington, Nevada, Arizona, Montana, to name a few, that have specifically passed laws which would require a gaming license if there is one available for daily fantasy. But the short answer to the question is no, it doesn't require a gaming license. Now, when you get outside the United States, that is a bit of a gray area, right? In most places outside the United States, UK included, it is viewed as a form of gambling, right? It's viewed as a form of gambling, and unto that point would require a gaming license. Now, when you're talking about like Latin America, Central America, there's a lack of regulation, but in my opinion, the best, at least concept, would be to get like a Costa Rican data processing license or an Isle of Man or Curacao license to kind of cover yourself, because there is that gray area where there's a lack of definition of what daily fantasy is. And daily fantasy hasn't really caught on, and it's really germane to football, American football, in a lot of respects. So that's where you really see it. But the question, did come up in terms of how is daily fantasy viewed outside the United States? So the quick answer is no, you don't need a license. One interesting point to think about is that if you are accepting crypto, and the question that was posed to me was in the concept of a daily fantasy that would accept Bitcoin, does that change the dynamic? And it doesn't change the dynamic as it relates to gaming law, but it changes the dynamic in the sense that now you, in the United States at least, you are a money service business because you're accepting crypto, the Bitcoin, and paying out in cash, right? So you're making that conversion. And as we've discussed before, that conversion triggers money service business laws just like an ICO would, right? Or OTC, Bitcoin OTC traders would, right? So that's a side issue unto itself. I've talked about it in different vids here, but it's definitely something to consider. But the short of it is that you don't need a casino sponsor or gaming license to run daily fantasy in the U.S. Outside the U.S., a little more murky. I would recommend getting a license of some ilk, even if it is just a Costa Rican license, and going from there on the daily fantasy end. So that's my take. If you have any questions, Adam at AdamTracy, TRACY.io. Happy to answer any questions and chat further. I'll talk to you.